Good evening. My name is Daisy Lang, and I've had the privilege of serving as this year's Student Council President. So on behalf of my class of Chanhassen High School, of the class of 2021, it's my honor to welcome you to our 11th commencement ceremony. We are Chan.
Nuanarok dian rokut malala, devuni naichua ni miraba naro amni ten malagas. Amni narini sikul Chanhassen High School, kelas Rijkenbeful si ruarif, tunga su uit amle nunana van kafna van Rijkenbeful. Zai dia Chan.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Ванесса Карачук. Моя большая честь приветствую вас на русском языке. От старший класс, Chanhassen класс 2021. Мы хотим приветствовать вас на 11-й начальной церемонии. Мы Чан.
Sabaydi, Suk Sabay, Kanoi Su Ashley Mies, Kanoi Su Wa Pasa Lao, Mani Hao Ma Salang Nam Gan, Job Hung Hien, Chanhassen High School, B Sang Pang Sao Ed, Bai Chan, Khop Jai.
Labas vakaras, manu padras ula jasukaitas. Chanhassen mokyklos de tūkstančiai dvidešimt pirmų klasės vadų. Uiče von 12 mokyklos baigiamo ceremonija mes Chanhassen.
Mi nombre es Katia y soy de Guatemala.
Y soy Esteban y soy americano. Es nuestro honor darles la bienvenida. Somos Chan.
En nombre de la clase 2021 de Chanhassen High School, nos gustaría darle la bienvenida a la 11ª ceremonia.
Hoan nghênh nhất về của chúng tôi ở Chanhassen High School. Tôi là Albert và tôi nói tiếng Việt.
Well, good evening. Here we are, we made it. My name is Doug Bollinger. I'm the principal here at Chan, and it is my distinct honor to serve as the principal here. It's my honor to welcome you, members of the graduating class, District 112 staff, Superintendent Sales Adams, representatives of the school board, parents, relatives, and friends of Chanhassen High School, to Chanhassen High School's 11th commencement ceremony. Some of you may be thinking, wait, that's not Dick Unger. Where did Mr. Unger go? Well, have no fear. I have it on good authority that he is here in the audience as I speak, watching my every move. He claims he has a son who is graduating, but I'm pretty sure this Alec Unger is actually a plant put in this audience to make sure I don't mess up. Joking aside, COVID robbed us of so many things these past 15 months. It robbed Mr. Unger of his last regular commencement exercise as principal. And I would like to take a quick moment to have Mr. Unger stand and be recognized for his many years of dedicated service that he gave to our school and to our district. Mr. Unger, where are you? There he is. Dick, thank you. Thank you for the work you've done to steer the ship and for assisting me in my transition. Before going much further, I would also like to thank Sarah Gilbertson and Paul Swanson, our choral and band directors, for preparing this evening's music. Thank you both, and thank you to our brilliant musicians for preparing the pieces here tonight. I would now like to thank all the people on the stage here with me now. I ask them to stand and remain standing until the last name is called. Please hold your applause until all of them have been announced. Our Superintendent, Lisa Sales Adams. Our Assistant Superintendent, Aaron Rathke. School Board Chair, Dr. Jeffrey Ross. School Board Treasurer, Jenny Stone. School Board Director, Fred Berg. School Board Director, Angela Erickson. School Board Director, Tim Klein. School Board Director, Sean Olson. Principal of the Integrated Arts Academy, Tara Kultsis. Assistant Principal, Aaron Swoboda. Athletic Director, Colin Bond. And Assistant Principal, Jim Swearingen. This is always a special night for both students and families. However, for some in our community, this evening isn't what they had envisioned. I ask that we please take a moment to silently remember classmates, friends, and family members who we've lost over the years and who cannot be with us here tonight. Thank you. I'd like now to introduce Ms. Erin Swoboda, one of our assistant principals, who will introduce our first student speaker. Erin?
Good evening and congratulations, class of 2021. I know I've been able to talk to a few of you as we've encountered this journey today, but I am so excited that we can be here in person and celebrate together. So tonight I have the distinct honor of introducing our first student speaker, Lily Paul. Lily is incredibly excited to be attending her dream school of Berklee College of Music in Valencia, Spain next year with the goal of majoring in music production. She'll be spending her summer brushing up on those Spanish skills, certainly. During her first 4 years at Chan, she spent about 90% of her time doing everything music-related that she could get her hands on, and the other 10% just hanging out in that band hallway that we all know and love. She has been selected as an all-state jazz band alternate once, has been in 7 theater productions as everything from stage manager to director to being in the pit orchestra, and has been in trouble more times than she can count. Lily would like to thank her parents for driving her around and her way too many, way too large instruments to everything, as well as her middle and high school band directors, her closest friends, and Count Bassie for supporting her in continuing music when music got hard. And above all, Lily would like to thank her siblings because despite all the fights they get into, they're the most important people in her life. It is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker of the evening, Lily Paul, with her speech entitled, Watch Where You Step.
Thank you. Hi. Now, I know I saw about as much of you guys in my classes this year as you saw of me, given that no one ever turned their cameras on. So I would like to start off by introducing myself personally without having to unmute my mic for once. Hi, I'm Lily Paul, and despite everything Ms. Swoboda just said, my crowning achievement of high school was actually passing all of my classes this year. I like to think that I left a mark on this school, but don't we all? Something a little tangible to be left behind. Whether it's a name on a plaque in a trophy case, a couple of creatively painted senior tiles, anything you ever threw behind the band lockers, because I promise it will never see the light of day again, and that gaping hole in the drywall of the basement near the shops. All true stories, by the way. But for me, I guess it never felt like it was enough. I never felt like I was just making a mark here, nor even a mark within a mark. I always felt like I was stuck leaving a mark within a mark, within a mark, within a mark. I've had a hell of a legacy to live up to for these past 4 years. And for those of you who don't know, I have 3 older siblings, like Ms. Swoboda just said: Monica, Dominic, and Valerie. The Paul kids have attended Chanhassen High School for the past 10 consecutive years. And after I graduate today, walk across the stage, move the tassel to the other side of my cap, that's it. It's over, mark is done, like and subscribe, or something like that. Between the team spaghetti dinners that I was forcibly dragged to, and all of the theater productions that I was only occasionally forcibly dragged to, and everything else that I actually voluntarily participated in, somewhere along the line, Chan became more of a home to me than my actual home at times, if by nothing else than the sheer amount of time I spent there. Yet the first time I met Mr. Lund as a freshman, he called me Dominic. The very next week, he called me Monica, which is impressive memory, frankly, because I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Mr. Swanson chronically called me Valerie until they graduated 2 years ago. Dom and Val's names are on the wall of fives in De Lorenzo's room, and Monica's in the old symphonic winds and speech group photos in the hallways. Growing up in our household, I tried just about everything my siblings did. Maybe it was because I felt comfortable or supported, or maybe it was just so that my parents could have all 4 of us gremlins in the same place at the same time for once. But regardless, I spent a lot of my childhood following in my siblings' footsteps, trying to fit my own itty-bitty little living space into what seemed like the biggest boot prints ever. And boy, let me tell you, that's been incredibly difficult to break out of. But legacy is a funny thing like that. It's something you leave behind with every step you take, every interaction you have with a person, every place you go, everything you do. Even if it's not visible to the naked eye, you leave a scrap of your legacy there, clinging to whatever might take hold. In my siblings' case, it just happened to be me. You can't really control the fact that you do leave it, so it's important to acknowledge what you're leaving behind. With every step into fresh ground, with every tread into this new future that you are about to take, a footprint appears behind you. And for these past few years, I can't tell if our flip-flops have been getting stuck in the mud or if we've been straight up flying over everything. Because, class of 2021, I'm gonna be straight up. We got screwed, man. In 2012, we made jokes about surviving the end of the world. In 2015, we made jokes about surviving Ebola and Zika. Then 2020 hit, COVID entered the chat, guns blazing, and messed everything up for us. Granted, we made jokes about that too, but it's beside the point. Between everything that managed to go wrong and every unsolicited change that we experienced, from the block schedule to new principals, we lost one of the most, if not the most, important year of our lives to date. We lost recruitment opportunities and concerts and tournaments and plays. We lost our brain cells and our sanity and all motivation, and hell, we actually almost lost graduation in there for a hot second. Yet, despite everything we did lose, I managed to gain so much unsolicited college advice that if I had a nickel for every time I got it, I could pay for my own tuition at this point. We lost a lot of what we expected our final year and a half-ish of high school to look like. But there is still a legacy to be found here. It's just not found in making a TikTok that gets 1 million views and is forgotten in a week. It's not getting likes on an Instagram post or followers on Twitter. Our legacy is found in the ways we pioneered to connect with one another despite all of this. It's found in the new people we managed to meet and everything we got to do with even a semblance of normalcy. Our legacy is found in leaving those with whom we met a little brighter than when we left them. Our legacy is not only the people and places we are leaving behind, but it is the people that can't be with us today. Legacy is not only the mark we make on the world, but it's why, where, when, and how we choose to make it. Still, it does have to be about how you choose. Your legacy is your own, and that is the hardest lesson I've ever had to learn. Don't let someone else's legacy shape your own, no matter if it's that of your siblings who came before you, or a now canceled influencer, or even Jeff Bezos. Please do not aspire to be Jeff Bezos. Now, I'm not exactly the type of person who vibes with inspirational Tumblr quotes, but there's always an exception to the rule, am I right? I am driven by the hope that I have not made my best work yet. There's always improvement to be made. Shoot for the moon, miss the stars by a few dozen miles, crash down to Earth, dust yourself off, innovate your rocket, and try again. That is what legacy is about, after all. It's about learning from what happened in the past, all of those other rockets that tried and failed, I'm looking at you, SpaceX, and using that to make your own go where you choose. Now, hindsight is 2020, quite literally in this instance, but it is also 2003. It is 2008, 2012, 2015, and everything in between. It's everywhere we've been, everywhere we are, simultaneous with everywhere we are going to be. Love it or hate it, and I know we're all very far on one side of that spectrum or the other, being here has shaped us for the rest of our lives. But it is only the beginning. We've barely touched down our footprint. We have yet to build our own legacies, yet to give our one small step for Gen Z, one giant leap for mankind. Though our time here is over, you can still shape the footprint that you make. Change what shoes you wear, because ain't excused to wear Gucci slides is a good one. Watch where you step, because now that you're wearing Gucci, maybe you should stick to the grass instead of the mud. And look up from your phone to see all of the paths there ahead of you. You can choose your own legacy, because being proud of what you leave behind of your own volition is what matters the most. This public broadcast was brought to you thanks to 12 years of hard work and suffering in the District 112 school system and viewers like you. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. As Mr. Bollinger said earlier, my name is Colin Bond, and I have the privilege of serving as athletic director here at Chanhassen High School. Class of 2021, congratulations on a job well done. I want to thank you for everything over the last 4 years in representing Chanhassen High School, and I wish you nothing but the best in future endeavors. This evening, I have the honor of introducing our staff speaker for the night, voted upon by the class of 2021. Our speaker has lived in the Chanhassen community for the past 20 years, where he proudly has raised his 4 children. Recently completing his 4th year at Chanhassen High School, he's primarily taught freshmen and enjoys teaching the problem-solving method used in physics and how they can use that skill moving forward. Fun fact, education is actually his 2nd profession. See, in nearly 25 years as an attorney, he worked in many cases that involved man-made disasters like fires, chemical leaks, and structural issues. He's brought these real-world applications to his physics classes based upon past cases. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the 2021 staff speaker, Mr. Tim Block.
All right, when I found out that I would be your speaker today, I went through so many different emotions. First, there was shock. Did they really pick a physics teacher? And then there was denial, right? There's just no way that they picked a physics teacher. And so finally there was acceptance, right? They picked a physics teacher. So what is wrong with you people? Well, then of course the training kicked in. You know, don't blame the children. And I realized that isn't there that syndrome where the hostages start cheering for their hostage taker? And then I knew right then that it's just science, and that's why you picked me. It is one of my greatest honors that you picked me today, and I have to thank especially the entire class, as well as Colleen, Katrina, and Ella. 4 years ago, I started teaching, making this my first class ever. Prior to that, I was working as an attorney for 25 years, and I have lived here in Chanhassen with my wife, Marina, and our 4 children, who either have already, are today, and will be graduating from Chanhassen High School. And I can imagine if you're sitting there right now, you'd say, okay, an attorney for 25 years and a father of 4, now that guy can control a classroom. But during my rookie year, not so much. See, our first year was marred by 2 major events in my classroom, and so just to make sure that you guys know that I can learn from you, I want to start with, it wasn't my fault. See, first we had a small, uncontrolled fire. See, a student had brought in a cell phone cover that had a battery in it, and when he dropped it, it immediately went on fire. And so later that day, I was looking at the pieces, and as I was looking at the pieces, I determined that a short circuit had likely caused enough heat to ignite the battery. Science. So I immediately started to prepare an explanation for the next day. I took pictures, and that's when some students came into my room and they said, yeah, they were talking about the fire, but then one student got up and said, wait a second, I bet tomorrow he's gonna try to teach us something. See, I kind of thought that's what they hired me to do, right? Well, we can all agree that it was a very nice PowerPoint, right, Meg? Now, the second was likely my fault. See, I had decided that we were gonna end class with a student throwing a raw egg at a sheet held up by 2 other students. It's a demonstration of an airbag. And I had decided even to invite the assistant principal to come and watch the class. See, we were throwing eggs in the classroom. What could possibly go wrong? And so the first class ended without incident when Michael threw a perfect strike into the sheet, and the second ended just as well. But that's when I heard a voice to my left with 3 small little words. Can I try? Now, these are really good words to hear in a classroom, right? So I reset the demo, and as I handed the egg to the student, I heard 3 other words. No, he didn't. Now, it only took a few seconds. The egg was jettisoned across the classroom. It flew right over the sheet, and it appeared to bounce off the wall. I thought I was watching some sort of physics miracle, but then the egg exploded in midair. And egg shrapnel littered the entire lab area. And of course, the classroom erupted. It was a resounding defeat for the rookie teacher. Now, looking down at these fine young adults sitting in front of here, right here, you might say Tim. By the way, that's what they call me every now and then. You might say Tim. They look harmless. And they sure do clean up very nicely. And so I would forgive you if you had forgotten what these same individuals looked like just 4 years ago at 9th graders. But lucky for me, the district sends me a new set every year. 140, 145 gentle reminders of what a 9th grader looks like. I remember one time sitting in class, 10 minutes had gone by, a student wasn't taking any notes, so I went up to him and I said, hey, do you have a pencil? Now, most students would go, I think he wants me to take some notes, right? But not a 9th grader. No, apparently that is an invitation to debate. Because the answer I got was, oh no, Mr. Block, I don't think we're going to need one of those today. Now, there's one thing that a Chanhassen 9th grader comes into on day 1. There is no instruction required. They know how to handle one of these. Now, if we could only incorporate cell phone skills into some sort of professional sport, I'm sure Chan would yield 2, maybe 3 Frank Ragnows every year. And so I had one of these future Olympians in my class that day. And she was able to capture my demise in stunning digital HD. And it only took a minute longer for that video to be placed on social media where everyone could and did watch my demise. Now, just like all of the other students that I will mention today, that young lady will go nameless, but Paige, could you imagine my horror as students filed in for the rest of the day saying, hey, Mr. Block, are we smashing eggs too? So now I know that many of you are sitting out there wondering, how did this teacher ever get tenure? But I will tell you that I am so proud of these students, how they learn to work and then celebrate in the classroom. There are so many more days that we trudged along, applying algebra to the physics concepts of motion, electricity, and waves. And if you were in my class, you would have heard me constantly say, use the 4-column method. For everything, use the 4-column method. For velocity, the 4-column method. For frequency, the 4-column method. And so, students, I don't think it would surprise you to find out that today, I am going to revise the 4-column method so that you can use it going forward. So in the classroom, in physics, we use the first column to basically list all that we have in the problem. And so students, if I was to list every great thing that you walk out of Chanhassen High School with, well, that list would spill onto the second page. First, today you have earned a Chanhassen diploma. I have seen its power. Each year, students are accepted to the colleges of their choice. Scholarships are awarded, and businesses compete for the Chanhassen student. A Chanhassen diploma is a valuable thing. Don't let anyone diminish this accomplishment. Nicely done. Second, look at all these people. You have earned their support. They have filled this church and they are watching from home, all to share in your accomplishment. Now, if I can just stop for a second, graduates. At this point in the speech, I'm just trying to tell you how these people have helped you. And I think we can all admit, right, that these people behind you are sitting. Literally sitting, right? And what I'm trying to convey to you, that these same people have figuratively stood behind you your entire life. Do you get that distinction? Because every day, I don't think you do. Finally, you have so many other talents, from academics to sports, from dance and cheer to band, choir, and theater groups. You have a unique competitive spirit, and at the same time, there's the gentle soul that is the Chanhassen student. You have many gifts. Congratulations. Now in column 2, that's where we find the equation that we're going to use to solve the problem. And in physics, there's a whole page of equations. But I've set out to find just one equation for you to use for the rest of your life, for everything, including relationships, work, and school. It's going to be a hard sell, but I'm going to try. Students, learn to say yes more than you say no. Now, you might recall that this is my motto of teaching. Every day I teach myself to reflexively say yes. Can I go to the bathroom, Mr. Block? Yes. Can I borrow a pencil? Yes. Can I somehow raise my grade? Yes, right? And I think that the whole idea there was to gain your trust so that you would have the opportunity to ask me more important questions. And I think it worked, because I know that a lot of you like to ask me one particular question. Mr. Block, can you lock me into your win? Right? Somehow we had 60 people in the win. I don't know what happened there. But think of the power of the word yes. Saying yes at work makes you a go-to employee. Say yes to your friends and families makes you a trusted friend. And saying yes can help us try everything that's new and exciting and even scary in the world. Now, of course, there'll be times when you need to say no. Say no when it will compromise your integrity or your character. Say no when it will take on so much that you won't have time for your family or your priorities. And I would bet that a lot of you think that you should say no when someone asks for their turn to throw a raw egg in the classroom. But I will never regret that day. No less than 5 times those same 3 words, "Can I try?" were said in that classroom. Each time I mustered the courage to hand over the egg, and each time you rewarded me. Some may have laughed at the disruption. Some may have frowned at the mess. But I know that it helped to teach you how to trust people. And I hope that you can see that sometimes we can take our defeats and turn them into victories. Now in column 3, we have to substitute in the numbers and use algebra to solve for the unknown variable. Column 3 is all about executing and getting the answer. So for the simple algebra of life, as you struggle to complete these things that you have said yes to, remember that 90% of the people in this world are good. And the other 10%, well, they're still working on it. Learn to find and trust these people to help you. Leverage these people, but never take advantage of them. Accept all the gifts that they offer you, but don't make them regret it. Now, the 90-10 rule comes from 2 of my friends in law school who were constantly arguing about this. One said 90% were good, and 10%, well, the other person always took the other side. And I have come down now on the idea that 9 out of 10 are good. but I'm a physics teacher, and I like experimenting. So let's find 10 lucky students, and let's give it a try. So, good, good, good. Good, good. I'll give it to you, okay? Good. Good, 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 and Paige. It makes sense though, doesn't it, Paige? Well, I wouldn't argue it because it's just science, right? Now, some of you might think that I held this grudge against Paige for the last 3 years, but in fact, Paige and I are really good friends. And Paige and Ella gave me a picture back at Basketball Appreciation Day, and that picture is up on my desk, and it will stay there always. All right. So now we're at column 4. Meg, wherever you are, column 4, last one. Now in column 4, this is where we just simply write down the answer, we make sure it makes sense, and then we can celebrate. Now I know that many of you are intending to go to college next year, and by October of next year, some of you might actually think that you're majoring in celebrations. But remember that it's always more satisfying to work and then celebrate. You'll have your shares of victories and defeats, so when you get to column 4, after you have said yes to the challenge and you have done your best to execute, then please call home. Call home. There will be more than enough time to spend with new friends and celebrate. Pick up the phone and let these people hear your voice. It won't matter if you're announcing a stunning victory or you're licking your wounds. Pick up the phone and call these people in Chanhassen who are waiting for you. And if they don't answer, well, you can call me. I don't know how it happened, but too many of you have my number. Now, if you use this 4-column method as well as you did in the 9th grade, I am confident in your success. Now, you have all been so kind to me. And so I'm going to request just one last indulgence. See, there is one person among you that is just a little bit more special to me. But at the same time, I understand that there are parents up here who would gladly take my spot, take this microphone, and shout to the top of this church how proud they are of their graduate. And so I'm going to try for all of us. I am so proud of you. I predicted this day, but I never took it for granted. You have exceeded my wildest expectations. I can't wait to see your future. I congratulate you on this tremendous accomplishment. I love you, and I will miss you, all of you, next year. Congratulations, Charlotte, and congratulations to the class of 2021.
Good evening, and congratulations to this remarkable class, a class like no other. My name is Jim Swearingen. I'm the Assistant Principal for High School Fine Arts and Activities, and it's my privilege to introduce our second student speaker today, Miss Lauren Manna. This young woman has been intensely active in Chanhassen speech, theater, and vocal music during all 4 years of her high school career. As a senior, she has served as a speech team captain, thespian troupe president, and concert choir president. Among a host of accomplishments, Lauren is a Minnesota State High School League state champion in speech, an event champion at the Harvard University Invitational Speech Tournament, and a national qualifier to the National Speech and Debate Association National Tournament, all earned during a virtual speech season. She has been a principal performer in multiple dramatic and musical productions, including starring as Sergeant Sarah Brown in Guys and Dolls just this spring. and she is a member of the top Chanhassen Chamber Choir. Lauren is a sophisticated, resilient, and thoughtful young woman who has much to say and much to contribute beyond the walls of Chan High. She will start the next leg of her journey at the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley next fall to pursue a BFA in musical theater. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm, storm welcome to Ms. Lauren Manna.
Chanhassen High School, I lied to you. I lied to you in more ways than I could possibly count, and not only about where I was going for flex time or the date that I actually started that essay, but about who I am. Class of 2021, I hate to break it to you, but despite the organized, well put together, usually polished person I've tricked most of you into thinking that I am, I have never planned ahead for anything in my life. Ever. I mean, like, seriously, not once. Oh, like one time I had to write this speech thing for a graduation ceremony, and I pulled an all-nighter the night before writing it, just because I didn't plan ahead. That speech thing being very, very different from this speech thing, of course. And you may be thinking, well, Lauren, if you don't plan ahead, then you must just be a go-with-the-flow kind of girl. And the answer to that is surprisingly also no. So yeah, I'm not the biggest planner. I'm just a nervous speech and musical theater kid wearing robes and a silly hat. But hey, at least I can always remember how popular I was in high school. But just because I don't plan ahead doesn't mean that I don't have big plans, just like all of you. And I'm not lying to you when I say that a lot of my big plans were supposed to happen this year. And so were yours. You were gonna win the homecoming football game, or go all out for Spirit Week, or get the lead role in the fall musical, or become captain, or leader, or president, or make new friends, or get into that top choice college, or finally figure out how to navigate Chanhassen without looking at the compasses on the floor. I mean, hell, for the first time in my life, I had actually planned ahead. Sometimes, though, no matter how much you wish and you dream, and yes, plan, things just don't turn out the way you want them to. You know, like how it rains on your wedding day or global pandemics on your senior year. Ironic, isn't it? But as much as we like to joke about the unexpected mess that this year was, I know that it goes a lot deeper for many of us, myself included. Chanhassen High School, I don't want to keep lying to you. And so, since high school will be officially over in a matter of hours, I would like to officially introduce myself. So hi, I'm Lauren Manna, and this year, because my big plans didn't come to fruition the way I thought they were supposed to, I gave up. Completely. Like, not wanting to go to school or see your friends or even get out of bed, gave up. And I want to be honest because I know that so many of us felt the same exact way. We just did a really good job of masking it. We had plans, and they didn't happen. We had every reason and every excuse just to throw in the towel and shut out the world as it had done to us. And for a long time, I did. Extracurriculars I loved lost their excitement. Every day was a repeat of the last. Fridays lost their thrill. Food lost its taste. That list of things that Mr. Swearingen just told you I did lost all of their meaning. And I lost myself. Selfishly, I couldn't see past all of those things that I was supposed to do and felt completely and truly alone, which is something I never imagined telling my closest friends, much less my entire senior class. But I'm telling you this for a reason. I'm telling you this because I want to point out the fact that despite all of it, the frustration, the isolation, and yes, the ruined plans, here I am. Here we are. I've realized that if we are able to look past what was supposed to be, we can finally see what could be, and what could be is a pretty damn beautiful thing. Maybe you didn't win the homecoming game, but you learned that the joy of your sport came from surrounding yourself with people just as passionate as you. Maybe you didn't even get a fall musical, but you adapted to a different format and created something new, something beautiful. And maybe you didn't even get into that top choice college, but you realized that your worth wasn't dependent on whether a letter said congratulations or we regret to inform you, but rather how you can make people laugh or give the best advice. My God, there is so much beauty in things that grow from dry soil that aren't supposed to be in the circumstances they are given, but are. Like a flower growing from the crack in the pavement or the jocks singing their hearts out in concert choir. What I mean is that there is so much that should have been this year. There was so much that was supposed to go according to plan, and our plan became just disjointed, unexpected, unwanted, and easy to give up on. But even so, here we are. Here we are at the finish line, breathing, laughing, learning, and smiling, I hope. And sometimes, that's just all you can ask for. And at the beginning of this year, we didn't even know if this was possible. Being here, together, breathing in each other's aerosols, which we now know like way too much about. Being able to look at each other in person and realize that all of the time and the ruined plans were oh so worth it. And if you think about it, maybe that's been our plan all along. Life is going to come at you from every direction, throwing you the very best of times and the very worst. Before you take anything I say to heart, please remember that you chose the musical theater major to give you life advice, a questionable plan to say the least. No matter what plans you have for life, life will have different plans for you. There is no plan A, and there is certainly no supposed to be, and that's okay. As long as you are always still here, breathing, laughing, learning, and smiling, you are doing what you were always meant to do.
Class of 2021, congratulations on completing potentially the most challenging school year you will ever experience. You've shown strength, grace, and amazing resilience. We've heard a few speeches here tonight that I know better than to stand in the way of what you're all waiting for, which is the conferring of the diplomas. So I'll keep this short. Rather than give you a speech that will pale in comparison to those we've heard, I'll share just a little bit of advice driven home by this year and alluded to by Lauren. I heard wise words a few years ago that I wish I'd gotten when I was 18, and those words were, live a prepared life, not a planned life. Allow me to illustrate, students. How many of you here, by show of applause, are planning on studying engineering next year? Okay, any chemical engineering? All right, be careful, you might end up a high school principal. You see, 20 years ago, I sat in your seat at Target Center, actually, ready to go to Iowa State, ready to prove myself, become an engineer, marry the girlfriend I had at the time, live in a lovely suburban home with a dog, 2.3 children, et cetera, et cetera. I had it all planned out at age 18. I'd done well in high school. What could possibly go wrong? I will put this bluntly. I was not prepared for the curveballs that life would throw at me. Not only that, but I was wound quite tight by the plans I had created. When I went to college and I did not do so well on that first chemistry exam, I started to believe that everything was unraveling. How could this happen? I studied so much. If I don't do well in this class, I won't get into that program, I won't get a good job, I won't be a successful adult. I won't be able to afford the house and the children, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how I lived for that first year out of the house, to be honest, worried that my plans were being derailed. Fast forward a few years, I had transferred to the U, a fantastic school I hadn't considered when I was in high school, to be closer to that girlfriend, who is now my wife, by the way. I was rounding out my chemistry undergraduate, having realized that engineering just wasn't my thing, and I was preparing to enter a teacher education program to teach chemistry and physics, Mr. Block. Never as an 18-year-old would I have said, I am going to be a teacher. My dad had changed careers to be a teacher. No thanks. But there I was. I had stayed true to myself rather than to a plan I previously had created. A previous self had created, and ended up entering a profession that was right for me. It happened because I had learned to be prepared for change. So, seniors, if there's one thing this COVID-riddled year has taught us, it is that while it's good to have a plan, it's better to be prepared for when that plan goes sideways. Let go of the seemingly perfect vision you've got of what life will be when you're 25 years old. Prepare for your plan to change. Put your best into what you do, stay true to who you are, but be ready to pivot at a moment's notice. And with that, Dr. Ross, as the principal of Chanhassen High School, and on behalf of the faculty and staff who have had the privilege of working with these students, it is my honor to present to you and the school board the graduating class of 2021 for the awarding of diplomas. They have successfully met all requirements set forth by the Minnesota Department of Education and the Board of Education of Eastern Carver County Schools. Dr. Ross.
Thanks, Doug, for the introduction. You know, since we have a science theme going on tonight, I really want to know how that 0.3 kid works. Maybe another time. Wow, it's great to be together again and see so many faces. As we heard from others, this almost didn't happen. This year has been a year of planning and then changing planning and changing again. But I have to say, it is so nice to be here in person and to be able to celebrate with all you graduates. While today is about the graduates, I would like to take a moment and extend a huge thanks on behalf of the school board and District 112 to all the parents, grandparents, siblings, support structure, and everybody who's here. I can say that without your help this year, it would have been so much more difficult to navigate what we did. So thank you. Also, to our district staff and teachers and behalf on the school board, I want to send a big thank you to you as well. And most importantly, to you graduates, thank you. Today is about you. It's a time to pause. It's a time to reflect on what you've achieved. In just a few moments, once I get out of your way, you're going to have the opportunity to walk across this stage and receive your diploma. And while the diploma can be displayed, it can be showcased, it can be filed away. 20 years from now, maybe you may no longer even know where you put it. The true value of what you achieve today is your education. It's your knowledge. And today, graduates, you achieve one of the rare accomplishments in life that no matter what happens, it can never be taken away. This is your knowledge. You did it. You invested the time. You invested in yourself. Be proud of what you accomplished today, and may it be the foundation for your continued journey through life. We are all very proud of you. With that, Superintendent Sales Adam, fellow board members, faculty, staff, and family, on behalf of the School Board of District 112 and the schools of Eastern Carver County, I am proud to accept the class of 2021 and award their diplomas. Congratulations to you and your families. We wish you well on life's journey. Thank you.
All right, so in a few moments, each student will be called upon by name to cross the stage and receive a diploma. It is a culmination of 13 years of education captured in one brief but special moment. As I asked the students earlier today, please respect and support one another during the presentation. I ask that you hold applause until the end so that each family can hear the name of their graduate as they're called. A number of our students, though, were not able to attend today, and they are graduating regardless, nonetheless. Though they are not here, we are proud of them, and we wish them the best. If you'll allow me a moment, I'd like to read their names. Those students are Nathan Bartholow, Hunter Buss, Alexia Dao Hong, Truman Dangerfield, Jake Ellis, Ryan Flederman. Please hold. Ami Gilman, Maria Capitan, Julia Milas, Owen Nguyen, Joshua Peterson, Luke Seck, and Anna Sin. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. All right, readers and deans, I now ask that you please bring students forward for the awarding of diplomas.
Emma Rose Abraham.
Jacob Jeffrey Agramson.
McKenna Faith Aker.
Evan Thad Allen.
Aiden Michael Allen.
Luke William Allen.
Talitha Kayanne Anderson.
Dasha Elizabeth Anderson.
Will Tucker Anderson.
Charles Frederick Aschenbrenner.
Sarah Jane Asplin.
Keegan Grace Anderson.
Paige Madeline Blue.
Nathan William Ba.
Shadi Salah Shaker Barum.
Kendall Claire Baines.
Megan Rose Barsness.
Margaret Helene Barrett.
Grayson Pierce Becker.
Mitchell Brian Becker.
Hannah Elizabeth Bedeau.
Nicholas Joseph Becker.
Logan Thomas Bankstein.
Robert John Belaires.
Maritza Betancourt Rivera.
Caitlin Bennett.
Logan Baxter Blanky.
Keely Sue Blavitz.
Evan Patrick Bach.
Charlotte Rose Block.
Austin Edward Ball.
Vasilisa Andreevna Bogdanova.
Emma Isabella Broughton.
Michelle Elizabeth Borodich.
Jake William Bragg.
Aiden Christopher Brady.
Ella Marie Brasted.
Kenyatta Marley Brannon.
Samuel Joseph Brennan.
Afton Nicole Brinke.
Aaron Ashley Brodigan.
Blake Chandler Briel.
Carson Michael Brooks.
Bailey Isaac Brokaw.
William Michael Dixon Browning.
Kyle James Brown.
Maggie Tamara Bruckelmeyer.
Malia Tracy Bruckelmeyer.
Megan Rose Bunkenberg.
Sophia Morantz Brum.
Stella Jane Buselmeyer.
Nathaniel Thomas Burns.
Lily Rain Carlson.
August Leah Butterworth.
Kaylin Trinity Cater.
Nicholas Antonio Carrillo.
Avery May Chatfield.
Jeffrey W. Chen.
Amanda Nicole Christensen.
Alex Michael Christensen.
Ella Abigail Christensen.
Tyr Delling Christensen.
Joshua Blair Clark.
Craig Winston Claggett.
Jason Theodore Collins.
Grace Elizabeth Clausen.
Christian Anthony Chu.
Jared William Cook.
Olivia May Crowley.
Drew Robert Cruikshank.
Mitchell John Lloyd Cummins.
David James Cunat.
Jacob Allen Dahl.
Alexis Catherine Darko.
Maggie May Davenport.
Abigail Irene Dean.
Silver Diaz Ortiz.
Craig Juan Dietrich.
Annika Riley Marie Detail.
Katrina Marie Dudziak.
Alexander Michael Duff.
Abigail Rose Duffing.
Jonathan Lee Dumke.
Nathan J. Doppler.
Sydney Marie Agnes.
Harrison Reese Ehrman.
Alexander James Idem.
Chase Patrick Iden.
Rachel Kathleen Iden.
Ali Hassan El Hadi.
Madison Maria Elman.
Zoe Marie Erpelding.
Christian Carter Ewing.
Samuel Carlton Fagan.
Selena Rabab Faraj.
Peyton Lee Farrell.
Jordan Danielle Fashing.
Alexander Philip Feliciano.
Maxwell Christian Fenn.
Claire Ann Ferderer.
Charles Henry Fisher.
Brady Elizabeth Flaherty.
Elizabeth Ann Fogarty.
Emma Jean Flemmer.
Jacqueline Elizabeth Foster.
Emma Elizabeth Foley.
Michael Allen Frey.
Lulu Olivia Frankie.
Riley Scott Funk.
Taylor Ann Frederick.
Ella Sloan Furman.
Christopher Patrick Fury.
Thank you. Anna Elizabeth Govin.
Eliana Alejandra Garcia.
Kira Lynn Gierman.
Zachary Eric Gavin.
Taryn Bonnie Gelner.
Raisa Olive Gabauer.
Lee and son Grace Gilbert. Oh, Ellison Grace Gilbert. Sorry.
Caitlin Isabel Gilbert.
Benjamin Norton Giles.
Raina Sophia Gilbertson.
What is it? Najaya Stormy Goldman.
Lauren Alexis Kaczynski.
Thaddeus Davis Grisbeck.
Lindsay Laura Gottschalk.
Jessica Rose Gustafson.
Abby Elizabeth Grunholtz.
Annika Jo Hanstad.
Claire Marie Guthmuller.
Aiden Joseph Hammery.
Madeline Kate Hayes.
Nathan Jeffrey Hansen.
Mason Thomas Hanover.
Sydney Elizabeth Ehrman.
Cooper Alden Hansen.
Oh, okay. Nicholas David Hansen.
Anna Grace Harper.
Mackenzie Lynn Helgeson.
Michael James Henry.
That's what I thought. Reese Thomas Hodgins.
Jacob Charles Hill.
Joseph David Holman.
Courtney Christine Hollis.
Okay. Rachel Elise Hoppy.
Jack Robert Hambach.
Skylar Riley Ingram.
Roman Amir Huseman.
Jaden Douglas James.
Really? Desmond Lamont Jackson.
Ula Josikaitis.
Callie Elizabeth Gerard.
Nathan Patrick Jesse.
Emma Grace Jensen.
Jacob Ronald Carl Johnson.
Brenna Ray Johnson.
Zoe Antoinette Johnson.
Michaela Emma Johnson.
Maxine Renee Johnson.
Sarah Joe Johnson.
Samuel Henry Jones.
Hayden Taylor Joint.
Reed Kellen Kading.
Jack Evan Kaler.
Madeline Elise Curlin.
Annalie Rose Kester.
William Timothy Ketchum. Thank you.
Bridget Noel Climbs.
Charles Trigg Knaus.
Trevor Riley Song Klinsing.
Grace Cassidy Kohlers.
Caroline Pearl Coles.
Vanessa Angel Korchak.
Kyle James Korkowski.
Daniela Marie Kraus.
Dylan Joseph Kraft.
Lydia Leon Kruger.
Kai Matthew Craning.
Jordan Lynn Lack.
Gabriella Marie Kroll.
Bryce Henry Liberté.
Catherine Helen Lacey.
Christian Robert Lang.
Daisy Louise Lang.
Lobby? Alvarez, okay. Taylor Denise Lauby Alvarez.
Zachary David Larson.
Claire Elizabeth Linus.
Nathaniel James Laurent.
Peyton Joe Linder.
Caleb James Lindelin.
Joshua David Lightsey.
Jocelyn Marie Lindquist.
Paisley Grace Lucero.
Connor Dean Luwagi.
Sophie Rose Macy.
Sierra Nicole Luna.
Lauren Emily Manna.
Shaylin Nicole Mahadi.
Sarah Alice Marsh. Piper Delaney Cigar Mans.
Ryan Jeffrey Mashka.
Sage Christopher Martin.
Claire McCarthy.
Yadira Martinez Estrada.
Alexandra Sophia McCoy.
Elijah Stephen Mao.
Dylan Henry McGinnis.
Aiden Joseph McClellan.
Ethan Andrew Messmer.
Anastasia Charlicia McDaniel.
Miranda Marie Meyering.
Ashley Chanda Meese.
Benjamin John Michael.
Jennifer Jasmine Metler.
Lily Elaine Moat.
Jesus Eduardo Meza Hernandez.
Sophia Marie Munch.
Alexander Joseph Miller.
David Thor Meister.
Erwin Xavier Montalvo Roach.
Alyssa Rose Nelson.
Leah Lynn Naples.
Abigail Grace Newman.
Clara Catherine Nelson.
Andrew Din Sun Win.
Alexandra Josie Nordine.
William Edward Nolan.
Marilena Christine Nugent.
Annabelle Louise Nordmeyer.
Heather Lee O'Brien.
Greta Christine Nyberg.
Alyssa Malai Olson.
Landon Jerry Oldenkamp.
Caleb Aaron Olson.
Emma Rose Olson.
Skylar Simone Page.
Lauren Grace Osborne.
Emma Kate Patka.
Connor Stanley Parsons.
Andrea Victoria Picaric.
Lillian Marie Paul.
Allison Marie Perkins.
Emma Elizabeth Peltier.
Nicholas Grant Peters.
Holly Aaron Perlick.
Joseph Wells Peterson.
L. Elizabeth Peterson.
Megan Allie Pearson.
Julia May Peterson.
Tucker King Pinkerton.
Ulysses Ardeni Pineda Cruz.
Jeremiah James Pope.
Bella Clara Plath.
Maxwell Carlos Puig Powell.
Charles Leo Puffett.
Dian Narendra Vulahanta Rakatumalala.
Brendan James Radke.
Matthew Michael Ramler.
Katia Esperanza Ramirez Lopez.
Alessandro Rasgatino.
Rebecca Eileen Ramsey.
William Sutton Redding.
Jack Allen Rasmussen.
Kayla Ann Reinhardt.
Caitlin Elizabeth Reinhard.
Gavin Todd Reeby.
Brandon James Roos.
Elena Marie Rodriguez.
Kate Louise Robbins.
Luis Gabriel Roman.
Justin Dominic Romer.
Chloe Catherine Roper.
Noah John Ronkin.
Nina Rose Safransky.
Sean Patrick Ryan.
Braden Allen Bradley Sanders.
Tyler Ray Sammons.
Annika Elaine Sather.
Ariadna Santa Maria Torres.
Alondra Guadalupe Saucedo.
Eric Thomas Sather.
Olivia Jean Schaefer.
Amani Jade Sawyer.
Caleb Richard Scholl.
Benjamin Andrew Scheller.
Sandra Nicole Scott.
Anna Maria Schultenover.
Michael Deneen Shea.
Cody Daniel Siegert.
Erin Elizabeth Simon.
Hunter Lee Sheehan.
Caitlin Marie Smith.
Lauren Olivia Schur.
Lauren Julia Spear.
Ethan Charles Smith.
Benjamin James Spendler.
Jackson Thomas Smith.
Julia Halsey Stats.
Conlon Reed Spencer.
Anne Victoria Steffen.
Dylan James St. Sauver.
Hadley Murray Steer.
Mackenzie Marie Stedding.
Aiden May Strang.
Tyler Robert Stewart.
Grace Evelyn Stroh.
Brandon Stephen Stoles.
Nora Isabel Thiel.
Adam William Strobel.
Thea Lynn Tiedemann.
Kinga Zofia Sabo.
Alec Carl Unger.
Benjamin Taylor Tester.
Elizabeth Grace Urell.
Sarah Elizabeth Thomas.
Lily Sochoa Bang.
Grace Catherine Tuamala.
Esteban Varela Lagunes.
Jennifer Rose Turgeon.
Pedro Juan Velasquez.
Andrew Liam Urell.
Mason Paul Vogel.
Cole Michael Van Holland.
Lolly Walsh.
Rachel Elise Van Houten.
Michael Thomas Waterman.
Katrina Rose Vasigi.
Cameron Joseph Weiner.
Charles Thomas Vickman.
Sydney Grace Wellner.
Jackson Charles Wall.
Julia Marie Weston.
Tate Olson Walters.
Blake Lawson White.
Antoine Henry Webster.
Maxwell Robert Weiner.
Nathan Matthew Weinrich.
Savannah Candace Williams.
Colleen Rose Westerhouse.
Samuel Allen Wilmot.
Kirsten Elizabeth Wims.
Catherine Jane Winslow.
Faith Lorraine Wickenhauser.
Benjamin Grant Wolf.
Jade Taylor Willer.
Lauren Lucille Washi.
Brooke Ashley Willier.
Angelina Lakshman Yudhishwar.
Eliza Grace Wilson.
Aliana May Zubert.
Andrew Garrett Wishman. Ethan Michael Wolf. Alyssa Nicole Yezi. Gretchen Louise Zink. Robert Dennis Klingelhutz. And Albert Wynn.
Let's give them all another round of applause. So now, class of 2021, please stand if you are able. Graduates. And turn to those who have supported you all around, over all these years. It is now your chance, graduates, to show your parents, siblings, and friends some love with a round of applause of their own. Parents, siblings. Thank you, families. All right, graduates, now for my favorite part. You know that's code for something. Audience members, get your cameras ready. Students, get your caps ready. This is it. Families and Chanhassen community, the class of 2021.